Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Mishal Damji and welcome to ARDD2022. I am an ambassador for the Inspire program and I'm here to interview Nollen today. So I'm just going to ask you some questions in general about the longevity field for the young professionals out there, how they can get involved and what got you started in the first place. So what drew you to longevity as a whole?
So so it's a good question. I have to think about it a little bit. But what drew me into the longevity was, in fact, that as I just talked about, we were looking for modifiers of protein homeostasis, and part of what we find are actually modifiers that, at the same time, when they suppress the toxicity of disease proteins, also prolong lifespan and have other beneficial effects. For the organism.
Yes.
So I think actually, I feel that not necessarily longevity, but health span extension is actually the key, maybe also to treating neurodegenerative diseases rather than treating them when they, on the last bit.
Yeah.
So I think that drew me into this field. Yep.
And what advice would you give to young professionals who want to get in this field, who want to get involved with research and just learn more in general? What advice would you give?
This is the approach that I would take, actually that I took when I was younger and interested in other fields, because this field wasn't so booming yet. So if you're interested in science, the best way to see what triggers you in science is read the most exciting papers in the field, and then approach the people that write these papers, because if you want to do a PhD or a research for your university study, people are always if you are very focused and say, I really want to dive into this field, you're on top of the pile, right? So people are usually very open to discuss with young people that are really driven by the questions. So just approach people.
Sorry. And then what would you say from the beginning of your career as a researcher, the challenges you faced then versus the challenges you face now within the research scope? What would you say is the biggest difference between those two kinds of challenges? Or are they the same?
Yeah, that's also a very good question. The challenges that I faced as a young researcher, they were mostly practically, right? Because you have an idea, you have a question that you want to answer. And at least for me, I don't know about other scientists, but it was never the answer that I could anticipate. So you always find things that are new. And the challenge is to stick to the question rather than trying to find any answer.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm still trying to do. And it's still what I'm trying to teach the PhD students and the postdocs. What is your question? And so if you keep your question in mind, you're not lost in the methodology that you're losing, but you're trying to find the answer. So I think that's the challenge, but a nice challenge. That's why I love science. And the challenge for me now, and has been throughout my career, not as a PhD student, but to get funding, for continuing your research. And I think that's what most people will say.
Yeah.
So it's not the motivation, it's more the funding to be able to do what you want to accomplish. So you need flexibility there.
Yeah, I've actually heard that from a lot of people I've interviewed today. They all say the same thing about funding, and getting your papers published are the hardest parts of the job.
Getting the papers published is also a hard part, but I like actually, that now I'm saying something that people will find very strange, but I like interactions with reviewers. Because I like interactions with reviewers, because that makes your work stronger.
Yes.
So I see it as a way to learn and to make things stronger, because otherwise it's a hopeless affair. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for talking to me today. Thank you.
So you have the other...
Yeah.